Alright everybody, so this one might not be as obscure as the rest of the games we're playing. It might be a little more well known, a lot of you might remember it, but I'm going to be a little biased here because this actually was the first Sonic game I ever played. I'm talking, of course, about Sonic Advance 2, which has stuck in my mind as one of the definitive Sonic experiences as far as I was concerned when I was younger, simply because this was the first one that I laid my hands on when I was a wee lad, so let's get right into it. So the big thing about Sonic Advance 2, if you've never played it before, is that it is fast. And oh boy is it fast. You're going to find pretty quickly that it's built all around speed. You know, a lot of people complain about the Sonic franchise being a hold right to win kind of game, and it's because of, I think, games like Sonic Advance 2 that stigma sort of started to stick. There's relatively little, you know, more precision-based platforming than you'd see in other games in the franchise. It really focuses on speed. You see these little blurry trails that pop up behind Sonic after he starts going a certain speed for a certain length of time, and it's really focused on just pedal to the metal, you know, straight up as fast as you can go kind of gameplay, which in a lot of cases is really fun. And depending on what you're looking for out of your Sonic games, this could be, you know, the pitch perfect way to the way for you to experience the franchise. In my case, you know, I remember being little and just, you know, you gotta go fast, right? Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. And this was really the game at the time that let you do that in terms of a traditional side-scrolling kind of experience. And it's really fun. You know, it improves in a lot of ways on the original Sonic Advance game that came before, just maybe a year or a year and a half prior. And you can see as we work through these acts that it really is tailor-made for just going as fast as you can. Let's let you enjoy the gameplay here for a little bit. It does a lot of creative things with those little tracks that Sonic can run on if he's going fast enough when he hits them, which is a lot of fun to exploit. It's a great kind of game for when you just want to kick back and tear through a level or two. You know, not much to it in terms of, you know, wrangling with mechanics or, you know, solving environmental puzzles or anything like that. You just go fast. And for a lot of people, that's what the whole thing is about. So, like many of the traditional 2D games, it's 2 acts and a boss fight. And what's interesting about these boss fights that not everyone necessarily agrees with is that they're all kind of performed in motion like this. So, excuse me, you are always running to the right, and bosses account for this. So you can see in this one, you're just kind of on your track, coming at this giant hammer in front of you. It creates a different dynamic in terms of fighting the boss, especially if you're used to the more traditional standing around and fighting that most of the other 2D Sonic games are known for. Now, what's interesting about the boss fights in this game is you saw that I rescued Cream the Rabbit there when on your first playthrough in the game, you'll rescue your friends as you progress through the game and fight certain bosses in certain zones. You'll then unlock that character to play through the rest of the game with. And it's an interesting kind of way to encourage progression in that sense. What's weird about the boss fights, though, is it spends the whole game kind of... I don't know if I can skip this. I can't, so... Oh, maybe I can. At any rate, enjoy that wonderful story. The boss fights kind of set you up for, you know, always on the move, always running, which again kind of plays into that theme of just running all the time. And then the final boss in the game, spoiler alert, actually has you standing completely still and fighting in the more traditional way that you normally would, which A is kind of a weird imbalance, and B, the controls in this game, being that they are a little bit stiffer in terms of, you know, moving from a dead stop, really don't cater to that all that well. So it is kind of a jarring transition, but by and large, you know, the game is a lot of fun. The music, I think, is also really good. One of the better soundtracks in the series, perhaps. I really like it, but again, I'm a little biased. Not as much as I like Sonic Advance 3's, though. If I really go out on a limb, I'm going to say Sonic Advance 3 is one of the best soundtracks in the whole series, hands down. Fight me. Fight me. I don't care. It's amazing. But a lot of the soundtrack in this game does cater, again, to just the fast-paced, relentless nature of the gameplay, which is good, because at least they kind of, you know, had the wherewithal to cater so much of the game to that, you know, approach. Now, I'm missing a lot of interesting jumps, because there is a move that you can do that was actually, I believe, introduced in Sonic Advance 2, where you can kind of, do tricks off of certain ramps like that. And I haven't mapped this to my keyboard properly, so I'm at a loss for how to do them, and I really should have thought that through. But that is something you can do, and I'm just kind of scrubbing my way through this without it. You can also see how the acts are kind of set up almost as a race, where you start off on that, I guess, chalking block or whatever the hell racers start on. You see it right here, and then you kind of end by literally crossing a finish line and bringing yourself to a stop, which I thought was kind of fun. Again, playing into the running all the time aspect. Go figure. Now, see, if I had my controls mapped properly, I would have hit that rail, and it would have been awesome. Unfortunately, not. So 7 acts, in this, 7 zones in this game, I believe. Sorry, 2 acts apiece. A couple of fun multiplayer modes. It's a solid entry, and I feel like a lot of people end up overlooking the Sonic Advance franchise or trilogy of games as a whole because of, I gotta do that whole thing again. Because they don't come up as often in conversation or in the sort of public consciousness as much as the there we go, original Genesis trilogy does, or the newer games like Sonic 4. But they are really fantastic games if you take the time out to play them. Some in the trilogy, I suppose, a little better than others. I'm not sure what just happened there, but I think I'm dead. Cool. I did amass a ton of lives, though. Where am I going to start from? Oh, right here. I missed that again. Missed that again. Very deep in the bottom of the zone at this point. Really should have mapped that. That's starting to bug me. I'm missing a lot of easy routes here. You just see how fast it moves. It's, you know, blink and you will miss it. It's a very fast-paced game. It doesn't play around. Boss fight. Again, always kind of moving forward. But the one nice thing is there's kind of always that supply of rings coming at you, so even if you do, you know, get bounced back, you take a lot of hits, it doesn't matter. Unless you're stupid, like I am. And you don't bother to grab any. We're not letting this slide. I got 7 lives. It's on now. Boom. Lots of hits right there. Ouch. He thought I was going to hit that. Now, eventually he will lose that open cannon arm like that. He's going to start dropping them a lot more frequently. Which makes them a little bit harder to hit as well. You know, you don't. No, you don't. Ahaha! That is how you do it. And that is a quick peek at the first couple zones of Sonic Advance 2. Again, a little biased. Again, maybe a little more mainstream than we've been showing on the stream so far. But, you know, for my money and for my experience, it's a great game to showcase. Watch that score go. Cha-ching.